Abatubo. First, the headlines. River State Governor Nyesom Wike expresses happiness at the level of cooperation among the three arms of government in the state. Local vigilante group arrests suspected criminal terrorizing Iba community in Emoa local government area of Rivers State. Minister of Interior Ralph Aregbesola expresses concern at the level of congestion in the country's correctional centers. On the foreign scene, landslides and flooding triggered by heavy rains killed 110 people in India. Stay tuned for the news in detail. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike says some of the achievements recorded by his administration was due to the cooperation he received from the other arms of government. The governor said this while inspecting progress of work at the ongoing construction of the official residential quarters of lawmakers of the Rivers State House of Assembly in Port Harcourt on Friday. Governor Wike said every arm of government in the state performs its role without interference, which has engendered a good work environment for all arms of government. He also reiterated that the number of work going on in the state has increased employment opportunities for young people in the state.
It would have been difficult if we do not have a robust relationship between the three arms of government. Yes, we are independent, but we work cooperatively to see that the state moves forward. If we have a relationship that is not good with the legislature, then how would they pass the budget to make sure that what the executive wants to implement is being carried out? So we have never had any sort of relationship with the legislature. We've never had any sort of relationship with the judiciary. Every arm of government is independent but working cooperatively for the interest of the state. We wouldn't have been carrying out all these projects without the support of the various arms of government. The executive cannot do it alone, neither can the legislature do it alone, or the judiciary. No. At the end of the day, whatever assignment you've been carrying out is for the interest of the people.
The housing project, which consists of 4-bedroom duplex of 32, is expected to be completed in December and will be commissioned by the Speaker of the House of Assembly. By the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila. Hotels and other recreational centers in Rivers State which do not meet up the laid down rules by the state government and security agencies in collaboration with the leadership of hospitality industry in the state may risk being shut down. State Secretary of Nigeria Hotel Association Napoleon Koko made the disclosure at a 2-day workshop organized by stakeholders in the hospitality industry in partnership with COSED Global Service. Koko reminded hoteliers of the directive by security agencies to hotels to submit daily manifests of their guests to the Department of State Services and divisional police officers in their areas.
When we had meetings with the state government and the security agencies in River State, we came to an agreement that there was the need for practitioners in the industry to be trained, and this is just one of the trainings we're having. But this time we're partnering with the academic world. That's why we're here at the University of Port Harcourt. This workshop is actually focusing on standardization, improving the level of hospitality, and we're also looking at the more paramount issue of security, ensuring that everybody that comes into River State for legitimate business is properly catered for. But after the security issues that were posed recently, we also included the DPOs in our submission of daily manifest. Any hotel that does not meet up and is submitted by the relevant security agencies in conjunction with the River State government, that hotel will be sealed up. It now poses a security risk to the state.
Some of the participants who spoke to Today FM's Uchendia Jawar promised to put more to ensure an improvement in the hospitality sector.
It covered a number of modules. So you had a program on customer relationship management. We had training with the Drug Law Enforcement Agency. We had training with, we had a talk from the police. And then today we had one from a doctor on public health and hygiene in the COVID era. We had one from the immigration. It's to keep us abreast with hotel management so that the services we deliver to the public would be better off.
The reason being that that, the hotel industry changes from time to time, especially with technology. In those days, we don't have software in updating accounts, but today we have software like that in updating accounts, and it's a new development. And if you don't organize this kind of workshop, we can't key into new development in the hospitality industry. The Nigerian police was here to give us a lecture on curbing insecurity in the hotel management industry.
The increasing cost of liquefied petroleum gas has forced many Nigerians into considering alternative energy sources. Recall that in April this year, the federal government, through the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timipre Silva, disclosed plans to launch liquefied petroleum gas distribution channels in every local government area in Nigeria and announced plans to inject 5 to 10 million liquefied petroleum gas cylinders into the market by 2022. This has, however, not been the case as Port Harcourt residents continue to pay heavily for the household energy. Our correspondent, who is monitoring the price of cooking gas in Port Harcourt, reports that the cost of products has risen. An LPG marketer, Louis Inzewi, told Today FM that there had been over 100% increase in the cost of purchasing the commodity within a year.
Sometime last year, price of LPG 20 tons is about 3,500,000. The as I speak today, the price is about 7,050,000. That's more than 100% increment. We are hoping that the price of LPG is supposed to be cheaper, but it keep increasing. It's getting out of the reach of the end users. Even some of them are resorting using old metal, charcoal, and kerosene. But the issue is that I don't know it's because of the exchange rate or whatever. It's being imported, and we have only one supplier, LNG. Apart from LNG, other means of getting it is importation.
Louis Inzeri, who disclosed that over 100% increase has led to a decline in their profit margin, called on the government not to renege on its earlier promises.
It's affecting us because the money we used to buy a truck, now we need to seek for additional 100% of the money to get the same product. And it's also affect our margin because our margin declined for more than 50%. I mean our profit. Because when the price is very, very high, the users are complaining. We are not even finding it funny to effect change as the price rises. It's affecting our own margin too. My call is for the government to look into it because they promise us that LPG is the cheapest source of energy, that even we should convert in our car generator to gas drive, but now the price is too high, very, very high.
One of the suspected criminals terrorizing Iba community in Emwa local government area of River State, Victor Wubi, has been apprehended by members of Iba Security Peace and Advisory Committee. The suspect was alleged to have been in company in company of 5 members of his gang and embarked on a mission to attack members of the East Park and to rob their targets when he was apprehended, while other gang members fled into a forest within the community. The spokesman of Iba Local Vigilante, or Aka OBCK, who confirmed the incident, said the suspect, who has been handed over to security agency, was apprehended with a gun and some looted items. OBCK identified lack of power supply from Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company as one of the challenges hampering the fight against insecurity in the area.
Late night, 1 a.m., the convoys invaded my community and attacked one of my OSAC members and shot him. They got shot. When they shot him, OSAC went after them, lay ambush area they are passing. Saw one of them with arms coming and arrested him and handed him over to the government. The army GTF came to anti-cause. OSAC always be on ground in any community to make sure there is peace. And I'm appealing in BHD, in River State, they should help us afford light to Iba community so that we can be seeing what is happening inside the community. When it is not in light, it can't be what is happening in the community. We are appealing to them for my community to NEPA.
One Victor Udwak, who was an assistant pastor of a New Generation church located within Mile 3 Dio Port Harcourt in Port Harcourt City local government area of River State, has dismissed a statement credited to one pastor, Tony Titus Daniel, that he was suspended as an assistant pastor for having an affair with a 20-year-old rape victim identified as Amaka. Pastor Tony Daniel, who is under investigation by the River State Police Command following a petition by the Center for Basic Rights Protection and Accountability Campaign for alleged rape of a 20-year-old girl, had in an interview with newsmen in Port Harcourt claimed that the girl framed him up with rape because he suspended her alleged boyfriend Victor Udwak. But Pastor Udwak, in his reaction, said he has never had any sexual affair with Amaka, saying he was tired of being a full-time pastor and needed to do other things for a living, hence his decision to leave the church.
I have never dated Amaka. Maybe as Amaka, she will confirm. I was a full-time pastor, which I don't go out to hustle. I was only in the church in the night, in the day. So I wake up and say, let me be going out to hustle. I don't want to be a full-time pastor anymore. I want to be a part-time. They say, okay, that room, even I'm saying, is for full-time. Even the seat is for full-time. So that was why I was unable to sit there again. They said that seat is meant for full-time, not part-time. I'm always in the room the church gets to me as a part-time pastor.
A three-man panel of appeal court sitting in Port Harcourt has affirmed the judgment of a high court in Degema, declaring Chief Igonikon Judge as the rightful head of the Judge Group of House in Buguma Town in Asari Toro local government area of Rivers State. Chief Chalicie Charles had, upon the judgment delivered by Justice S.O. Benton of the Degema High Court, appealed against the verdict on behalf of some persons, asking the court to upturn the judgment. But the three-man appeal panel, in their unanimous decision, affirmed the judgment of the Degema High Court and awarded the sum of 200,000 naira in favor of the defendant. A member of Chief Igonikon Judge, Chief D.A. Judge, Chief Dad Judge, who spoke to Today FM outside the courtroom, said the judgment has proven the judiciary as the hope of the common man.
Today was a very gladdening day that the long-awaiting judgment between the Chief Igonikon Judge Group of Houses family versus the entire judge compound. The judges, being represented by the principal judge herself, give a judgment as according to Justice S.O. Benson that this case should not be appealed. That if this case goes on appeal, that it will suffer more. And what Justice S.O. Benson said has come to reality. The suffering of this case is that the appeal court extra punish the compound with a fine of 200,000 naira, and the victory goes to the old man, Chief Igonikon Judge, and the family, that he should ascend to his father's stool as the only successor of Chief Igonikon Judge Group of Houses. We don't know how to thank the judiciary, the common man's hope.
A federal high court has sentenced 10 pirates involved in the 2020 hijack of a merchant vessel, the second to 12 years to 12 years imprisonment, each with a 250,000 naira fine on each count. Delivering judgment on Friday, Justice Ayokunle Faji of the Federal High Court, Ikoyi, submitted that piracy has been an embarrassment to the nation and has impacted the economy negatively. Justice Faji stated that punishment for the act must be proportionate to the offense committed by the convicts to serve as deterrence to others. In his submission, the lead prosecution counsel, Mr. Labaran Magaji, said the verdict would send a strong warning to other criminal elements, while the defense counsel vowed to appeal the judgment. Recall that the Nigerian Navy rescued 18 crew members on board a Chinese vessel from a pirates attack on May 15, 2020, with 10 of the suspects charged before the Federal High Court, Ikoyi. The Department of State Services has warned Nigerians on the dangers of public display of affluence, saying it is great security risk. The Deputy Director, Security Enforcement of the service, Mr. Paul Odu, who gave the warning during a security presentation in Kwara State, said a show of affluence in public is one of the factors that attract attention of criminal elements. Although did assess that the uncontrolled exhibition of flamboyant lifestyle and deliberate show of affluence has the potency of attracting kidnappers and bandits. While advising people to adopt moderate lifestyles to avoid being victims, the DSS Deputy Director stressed the need for everyone to be knowledgeable about security tips. The Office of the National Security Advisor has cautioned against activities of fraudsters who are impersonating the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons with the intent of defrauding unsuspecting members of the public. It also warned that criminal elements have floated fake websites and are also involved in illegal recruitment and fraudulent inducement. Head Strategic Communication Office of the National Security Advisor Z.M. Usman in a statement said the center is currently not recruiting and has not engaged the services of any individual or recruitment agent to recruit on its behalf. You are listening to the World News at 7 on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. After this break, more news, foreign and sports stories. Please stay tuned.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
And we're back.
You're still listening to the World News at 7 on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. Welcome back. Now to the rest of the bulletin. Minister of Interior, Ralph Arigbesola, has disclosed that custodial centers across the country were majorly congested by inmates awaiting trial, constituting numerous challenges for correctional services. Arigbesola, who made this known at the commissioning of Osun State Command Headquarters of Correctional Office Complex in Oshogbo, said the 50,992 inmates are awaiting the trial, while 17,755 are actual convicts. He, however, charged state governors to do the needful for inmates on death row to reduce pressure on custodial facilities, just as he made case for those with a terminal illness or old age to be set free on compassionate grounds. He added that the maximum capacity of the nation's custodial capacity is 57,278 inmates, but presently housed 68,747. On the foreign scene, at least 110 people have been killed in landslides and flooding triggered by heavy rains in the western Indian state of Maharashtra. The rains overwhelmed thousands or hundreds of villages, sweeping away houses and leaving residents stranded. Rescue crews have been racing to evacuate survivors, but many people are feared missing. The Indian military has been helping the efforts, which have been hampered by difficult conditions. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi said he was anguished by the loss of lives and would provide assistance to the affected. The body of slain Asian President Jovenel Moise was returned to his hometown on Friday for a private funeral amid heavy security following violent protests and fears of political volatility in the Caribbean nation. His wife, Martine Moise, arrived at the husband's service in Cap Asian to cries of justice, justice. As the ceremony began, hundreds of protesters clashed with police outside the private residence. Shots erupted and tear gas and black smoke almost disrupted the ceremony. United States Ambassador to the UN, Linda Thomas Greenfield, who led the U.S. presidential delegation to Moise's funeral, in a tweet said, "The Asian people deserve democracy, stability, security, and prosperity, and that the U.S. stands with them in their time of crisis." In sports, as anti-Olympic protests rocked the opening ceremony of the Tokyo Games, British sprinter Dina Asher-Smith has backed the relaxation of rules around athlete protest at the Tokyo Olympics, calling protest a fundamental human right. Recall that in early July, the International Olympic Committee changed its rules to allow protests before and after events, but a ban on protests at ceremonies, including on the podium, remains. But the 25-year-old British sprinter, who is among the favorites for 100 meters gold, said any punishment would be unworkable. To end the news, here is a summary of the major stories. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has expressed joy at the level of cooperation among the three arms of government in the state. A local vigilante group has arrested a suspected criminal terrorizing Iba community in Emowa local government area of Rivers State. Minister of Interior Ralph Arigbesola has expressed concern at the level of congestion in the country's correctional centers. On the foreign scene, landslides and flooding triggered by heavy rains have killed 110 people in India. That was the news as edited by Onyekachi Wosu. For comments and inquiries, please call 0818 3892850. Send your emails to news@todayfmlive.com. You can also read our stories on www.todayfmlive.com. Do not forget to take responsibility. Wash your hands on a regular with soap on the running water. Avoid touching your face and eye contact surfaces to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Good morning. I am Kala Da Korubatwo. Stay tuned. Conversations continue after the break.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
I am a proud Nigerian. I have been placed here by God for a time such as this.
The degradation, challenges, and problems faced by Nigeria are the perfect backdrop for me to develop and utilize my God-given potential.
I will not complain. I will not criticize. Rather, I will use my skills, gifts, relationships,
and experience to find long-lasting and revolutionary solutions to the many challenges confronting Nigeria.
Nigeria will rise again.
Because I am here, I will leave this nation
a better place than I met it. I will work to make Nigeria a praise on the earth.
I will work to make Nigeria a praise on the earth. So help me God.
Let me tell you how I got this far.
This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People.